I want to tell you about a really helpful page on Amazon KDP that answers all the questions that you may have about low content book publishing. Hello home bosses, my name is Nouri Yacobi from thehomeboss.com. Welcome to my channel, which is all about helping you to make money online. And in today's video, I want to show you a page that I found on Amazon KDP. It's actually quite easy to find. I will leave a link underneath this video, but you can also find it by going onto your KDP dashboard. And then in the top menu on the right, you find a tab that says Help. And when you click on that, that takes you to the page that I want to talk to you about. So I've never actually clicked on this before. Can you believe it? I've been doing KDP for ages and I've never actually clicked on this little help button. But I just thought I'd tell you about it in case you haven't found it yet, because it really is so helpful and it answers a lot of the questions that I get every day in my Facebook group and also here on YouTube. And actually there are a lot of questions that I have that I can now find the answer to on this page. And it's very helpful because right at the top, it just tells you the main news and recent updates that you need to know. And it's always a good idea to keep up to date with any news and anything that could be important for your publishing business. So as per the date of this video, the recent news and updates are that Japanese is now available as a language option for print books, and there's a handy reminder to beat the holiday rush and to order your book copies early. So if you want to order any author copies, now is a good time before it gets very busy due to the Christmas season. And also, they're telling us about an event that's going on at the moment, which is the National Novel Writing Month. So if you are creating full content books, this may be quite an interesting thing for you to take a look at. And it's also talking about the recent addition, the hardcover option that we now have on Amazon KDP. So let's click on one of them and just to see how they are presenting this information. So this is all about hardcover, for example. It even has a frequently asked question section where you can see the type of questions that we all have when there's something new on KDP. So when it comes to hardcovers, they answer the questions on how do I publish a hardcover book? How can I turn an existing paper book or ebook into a hardcover book? Can I order author copies? How do I format hardcover? So you can see it's really extensive and there are a lot of answers to the kind of questions that you might have. So going back onto the main page, there's also a really handy section here that says, Are you new? Here are a few steps to get you started. So this is ideal for anybody that is starting to publish low content books at the moment. And it explains, first of all, what is KDP. So for all of you that are not really sure what KDP stands for, it's Kindle Direct Publishing. And this explains it in more detail. And then it also explains how you would format your books, what you need to do to make a book, to upload it on KDP. And then here we have Create a Book on KDP. And this is a walkthrough guide for creating your very first book. So hopefully you are intrigued by this and you want to find out more on how to self-publish books on Amazon KDP. And I just think that this page is really useful if you're a beginner. But what if you're not a beginner and there are other things that you want to find out about? So popular topics. Book series, build a series on Amazon. I had a lot of questions recently as to can we place low content books into a series, and my answer has always been that it's not really suitable for low content books because a series is really for written books where there is a continuation in either the storyline or it's about the same character, that kind of thing. Some people use series for coloring books and Amazon has let them pass through the review stage. So let's click on this and see what Amazon actually says about this. It answers the questions on create a series, manage a series, and view Amazon series page. So I really want to know if I can create a series for low content books. So let's have a quick look at the guidelines at the top, and they tell you what you can put into a series. And under the guidelines, we can find examples of books that may not be related by theme, and they include public domain books, books with primarily lined or blank pages, such as journals, notebooks, planners, or other similar books. So they cannot be included in a series. So I guess that they might have allowed some coloring books because they are not strictly lined or blank pages. So it's pretty clear that notebooks, journals, that kind of thing cannot be put into a series because it wouldn't make sense anyway. I think if you're creating a series, they would all have to be related to each other. So that answers a few questions about series. Let's go back onto the main page, and you can also find payment questions here. Now that is another topic where I get a lot of questions. When do we get paid? How do we get paid? All those kind of questions are answered under this section, and it goes into quite a lot of detail. So there is a lot of information for you here. Even if you're living in different countries, you can probably find the answer to your question here. And there is another really useful section here, which is update book details. Learn how to update your book's metadata. Now I get a lot of questions about that as well. What can you update? Can you update your title? Can you update your subtitle? And the answer to that is here. The language can't be updated either in Kindle, ebook, or paperback and hardcover. The book title can't be updated. The subtitle can't be. What are the kind of things that you can update? Well, you can update the contributor names, the description, the publishing rights, the keywords, categories, and so on. So you can find all the answers about what you can update and what you can't update here. There is another section on how to order author copies. So author copies are really handy if you want to order quite a lot of copies and, for example, you want to sell them in a bookstore or you want to send them to your customers yourself. Maybe you've got a website. Maybe you want to do a book signing and you want to order author copies, or maybe you just want to give them away to friends and family. So author copies are a good idea if you need to order a lot of copies of your books. If you just want to order one or two because you want to see what the quality of your book is like, then what I normally do is I just order a copy of my book as a customer, and that gets to me within days. Whereas with the author copies, sometimes it takes quite a long time before you get them delivered. And another really interesting one is the change categories. I get a lot of questions for that as well. You know, can you put your books into different categories? And it explains everything you need to know about categories. When you upload your books, Amazon asks you to choose 2 categories, and those are the BISAC categories, which are the industry standard categories. But your customers actually see a completely different set of categories. Your customers see the browse categories, and you can choose 8 of those categories, and you can ask Amazon to put your books into those categories. So you have to let Amazon know, and you also have to be quite careful that you put them in relevant categories, because I have seen a lot of YouTubers telling people to put them in categories that are unrelated, but because there's very little competition, you can get the bestseller badge easily. But if your books are not related to that category, that's a very dangerous thing to do because you could get your account suspended. Amazon sees that as manipulation and it's misleading. So anything that is not strictly above board and honest, I would completely stay away from that, because you can really risk your Amazon account. And my Amazon account is too valuable for me to do anything like that deliberately. We can all make mistakes, but I would really recommend that you don't do anything anything deliberately that can harm your account. So make sure that any categories that you choose are relevant for your books. You can email Amazon to do that, and it explains the whole process here on this help page. And another really useful section is the link your paperback and ebook, how you can turn your paperback into an ebook and link them. Now, this is not suitable for low content or no content books because they're not suitable as ebooks. But if you're making children's books or activity books that don't require writing in, then you can turn your book into an ebook as well and link them. So I found this really, really useful. And before I go, I just want to also mention that you should read this Kindle Direct Publishing Terms and Conditions section here on the left, because that is really, really important, and the Kindle Publishing Guidelines. Those are the two most important things on Amazon that you need to really know inside out. If you're running this as a business, you really need to know that you're doing everything legally and correctly. And this is where you can find all of that information. So it's very easy to look it up here. And you can also ask any questions in my Facebook group. So please join if you haven't already done so. You can ask any amount of questions and we'll do our best to answer them. So thank you very much again for watching, and I'll see you again in my next video. Bye-bye.